Spartacus was a gladiator. He fought for his life in the arena. But Spartacus was also a symbol of hope. He dared to challenge the might of Rome. His name echoed through history. He became a legend for freedom and rebellion. Spartacus led a slave revolt. He fought against slavery and oppression. His story is one of courage and determination. He showed the world that even the most powerful empire could be challenged. We know little of Spartacus's early life. His story begins in the ancient region of Thrace, a land known for its rugged terrain and fierce inhabitants. He was probably born in Thrace, a region that lies in modern-day Bulgaria, Greece, and Turkey. The Thracians were known for their warrior culture and their resistance to foreign domination. This region was known for its fierce warriors, who were often recruited as mercenaries by other nations. Spartacus might have grown up amidst tales of bravery and combat. Some historians believe he might have even served in the Roman army, gaining first-hand experience of their military tactics and discipline. This experience would later prove invaluable. How he ended up a slave is unclear. Some suggest he was captured during a conflict, while others believe he might have been betrayed or sold by his own people. What we do know is that Spartacus was sold into slavery, a fate that befell many during those turbulent times. The Roman Empire thrived on the labor and suffering of countless slaves. He was forced to train at a gladiator school in Capua. Life there was brutal, with daily training sessions that pushed the limits of human endurance. Gladiators were both revered and reviled. Gladiators fought to the death for the entertainment of Roman crowds. These bloody spectacles were a testament to the Roman appetite for violence and control. But Spartacus yearned for freedom. His spirit remained unbroken, and he dreamed of a life beyond the chains and the arena. This burning desire would soon ignite a rebellion that would shake the very foundations of Rome. In 73 BC, Spartacus saw his chance. He and a small group of gladiators hatched a daring plan. They overpowered their guards. They seized weapons from the armory. Their escape sparked a rebellion. News of the revolt spread like wildfire. Runaway slaves and gladiators flocked to Spartacus's banner. His army grew rapidly. They were poorly equipped but deeply motivated. They longed to break free from Roman tyranny. Rome initially underestimated Spartacus and his growing army. They sent a small force to quell the rebellion, thinking it would be easy. But Spartacus's army was surprisingly effective and resilient. They were disciplined, well-led, and highly motivated. They crushed the Roman legions sent against them. Victory followed victory in quick succession. Spartacus's forces marched up and down the Italian peninsula. They plundered wealthy estates and villages. They freed slaves wherever they went, gaining more followers. The rebellion sent shockwaves through Roman society, causing widespread panic. The Roman Senate panicked. The news of the slave rebellion led by Spartacus had shaken the very foundations of Rome. Senators, who were usually composed and confident, now found themselves in a state of disarray. The rebellion was not just a minor skirmish, it was a full-blown crisis that threatened the stability of the Republic. They realized the gravity of the threat. The Senate understood that Spartacus and his followers were not just a band of runaway slaves. They were a formidable force capable of challenging Rome's authority. The fear of a potential uprising spreading throughout the provinces loomed large. They turned to Marcus Licinius Crassus. Known for his immense wealth and political influence, Crassus was seen as the man who could turn the tide in Rome's favor. His reputation as a shrewd and ruthless leader made him the Senate's best hope. He was a wealthy and ambitious general. Crassus had always harbored dreams of military glory and political power. This was his chance to prove himself not just as a financier, but as a military commander of unparalleled skill. He was given command of a large and powerful army. The Senate spared no expense in assembling a formidable force for Crassus. Thousands of well-trained and heavily armed soldiers were placed under his command, ready to march against Spartacus. Crassus was determined to crush the rebellion. Crassus pursued Spartacus relentlessly. He knew that a swift and decisive victory was essential to restore order and his own prestige. His strategies were meticulous, and his resolve was unyielding. He used his superior numbers to wear down the rebel army. Crassus understood the importance of leveraging his numerical advantage. He systematically cornered the rebels, cutting off their supplies and forcing them into a series of exhausting battles. He also employed brutal tactics. Crassus was not above using fear and intimidation to achieve his goals. His methods were harsh, but they were effective in breaking the spirit of the rebellion. He decimated his own troops to punish them for cowardice. In one of his most infamous acts, Crassus ordered the execution of 1 in every 10 soldiers from units that had shown cowardice. This ancient practice, known as decimation, was a brutal reminder of the consequences of failure. This sent a clear message. Failure was not an option. Crassus's actions instilled a sense of fear and discipline within his ranks. His troops knew that their only path to survival was through victory. The stage was set for a final decisive confrontation with Spartacus. Spartacus's forces were trapped. They had fought valiantly for years, defying the might of Rome, but now they found themselves in a dire situation. The rebellion that had once spread fear through the heart of the Roman Republic was now on the brink of collapse. They were cornered in the south of Italy. Crassus's legions closed in, their disciplined ranks moving with a relentless precision. The rebels had nowhere to run, no place to hide. The Roman general, Crassus, was determined to crush the uprising once and for all. The final battle took place near the Salaris River. The waters of the river would soon run red with the blood of the fallen. The air was thick with the tension of impending doom, as both sides prepared for the inevitable clash. Spartacus knew this was his last stand. He had led his men through countless battles, always with the hope of freedom. Now he faced the reality that this might be the end. But he was determined to go down fighting, to make the Romans pay dearly for every inch of ground. The rebels fought with incredible courage. They were not just fighting for their lives, but for the dream of a world where they could be free. Each man knew the stakes, and they fought with the ferocity of those who have nothing left to lose. They were outnumbered but not outmatched in spirit. The Roman legions had the advantage in numbers and equipment, but the rebels had the fire of desperation and the will to fight to the last breath. Spartacus himself fought like a man possessed. He moved through the battlefield with a singular purpose, his sword cutting down any who dared to stand in his way. His presence was a beacon of hope for his men, a symbol of their defiance. He sought to reach Crassus. The Roman general was the architect of their suffering, and Spartacus wanted to end it by taking his life. He charged through the chaos, his eyes fixed on his target. He wanted to kill the man who had brought him so much misery, but he was overwhelmed. The sheer number of Roman soldiers was too much, even for a warrior as skilled as Spartacus. He fought bravely, but the odds were insurmountable. His body was never found. The legend of Spartacus lived on, a symbol of resistance against tyranny. Though he fell in battle, his spirit continued to inspire those who yearned for freedom. Spartacus's rebellion was ultimately crushed. 6,000 survivors were crucified along the Appian Way. It was a gruesome warning to any who dared to challenge Rome. But Spartacus's story did not end there. Spartacus became a symbol of resistance. He inspired hope in the hearts of the oppressed. His name resonated throughout history. He was a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the fight for freedom is a fight worth fighting.